Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB and today is the 22nd of October 2024. Now unfortunately guys, the prices of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market, they have marginally gone down, and if you're into trading guys, you should know the reason why that thing is happening, because there is a massive news regarding Bitcoin open interest, and for the very first time guys, it has gone ahead and exceeded $40 billion. So what I'll do guys in today's episode, I'll go ahead and discuss what does it actually mean if the Bitcoin open interest is exceeding $40 billion, and I want to go ahead and touch base on a few points guys. So I want to go ahead and discuss if it could lead to increased volatility, the market sentiment and speculations, potential for liquidation events, the impact on spot prices, market structure changes, regulatory attention, because $40 billion is quite a lot, isn't it? And I'll also go ahead and touch base on long-term trends as well as investor strategy and adjustments. So let me know guys what are your thoughts regarding this. And also guys, with US elections on the way, I'm pretty much sure politics and politicians can definitely impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? So what I also want to do is, I want to go ahead and highlight some points such as regulatory policies, economic conditions, as well as investor sentiment keeping in mind the US elections. So it's going to be a really spicy episode to be honest. And then guys, I do have another important update regarding Bitcoin mining hash rate. Now this point of time guys, I'm hoping you know that Bitcoin mining difficulty gets adjusted every 2016 block, isn't it? And there is an interesting update that did actually happen yesterday. And Bitcoin mining hash rate guys, it did actually got in touch a new all-time high. So I'll go ahead and share more information regarding this. Now look guys, when the Bitcoin mining hash rate is increasing, and if the prices are not meeting the bare cost, there is a very high possibility for smaller miners to shut down the operation, isn't it? And could that lead to centralization? Most likely yes, so we'll definitely go and touch base on this. Now the next news guys is a really interesting one, and this is connected to the king of privacy coins, that is Monero. And Japanese authorities guys, they've arrested few individuals that were unfortunately using Monero for illicit purposes. So look guys, news such as this is definitely not great, not just for privacy but for the broader cryptocurrency world, isn't it? So I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this, cause looks like the authorities have arrested over 18 people so far, and they were notoriously using credit card for fraudulent activities. And it is a bit strange and sad that they are using Monero, isn't it? Cause look guys, when you talk about privacy, Monero is kind of like the king of it, and a lot of Bitcoin OGs guys, they're definitely advocates of Monero as well. So we'll definitely take a deep dive into this. Now the next news guys I'm going to be talking about is definitely not a positive one as well, and this is to do with the bank in South Africa. And Capitec guys, they have decided to block payments for cryptocurrency exchanges. So I'll go ahead and give out more information regarding this. And the only reason guys they were able to do that, because the customers were using the app as well as the website interface. So I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on this news. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode actually. And like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, we will be looking at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys is definitely a positive one, and this is to do with Dubai police. And in the episode that I released yesterday, that is the 21st of October, I did go ahead and discuss a positive news regarding Dubai police, isn't it? But today guys, they are working with an AI-based virtual assistant, and they are doing that with a high-tech company called Zavaya. So I'll definitely go ahead and share more information regarding this. Now the second news guys is definitely positive news as well, and this is connected to one of the government entities, and the government entity is called as DEWA, that is Dubai Electricity and Water Authority. And the digital arm of DEWA guys, that is InfraX, they are partnered with Arm Equity Partners, and they want to develop ESG focused AI edge computing infrastructure in United Arab Emirates. So definitely positive news, isn't it? And this announcement guys was actually made at GITEX event, which to be honest guys is probably the biggest electronic festival in the entire world. And I'm pretty much sure guys over the next coming days, we will be seeing quite a lot of such announcement and partnership as well. So definitely positive news, isn't it? So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode. Let's kick start with it right away. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media guys is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm, And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They are taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they are focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet, and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. They also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE. So definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing, and hosting training workshops, seminars, and community events that educate, inform, and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next. Hey guys, listen, there are 4 things that I'm really passionate about. The first one is death metal. The second one is Bitcoin. The third one is ice cold beer. You can't go wrong with ice cold beer, isn't it? And the fourth one, guys, is obstacle course racing. And today, guys, I've got something really huge to share to my audience. And guys, get ready to be part of the inaugural event of Arabian Warriors event, which is scheduled to take place in Dubai on the 26th of October. And this is taking place in the iconic location of Dubai Islands. Now look, guys, this is just not another race. It is a culmination of years of hard work by the team. And Arabian Warriors, guys, is born in the Middle East with strong Middle Eastern values, and their goal is pretty simple, guys. They want to make Arabian Warrior the world's premier OCR event. Now, whether you're a seasoned athlete or just looking for a challenge, they got everything covered for you, and they have different raid formats as well. You have 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers, and the big one, that is 50-kilometer event. And there will be a number of unique, challenging, and different obstacles throughout the course. And that's not all, guys. There are events lined up in Qatar as well. Now here's a sweet bonus, guys. Use the code SIGNUP for a 10% discount on your registration. So don't miss this chance to take on a brand new course with some of the toughest obstacles you've ever seen. So do one thing, guys, head over to arabianwarriors.me and sign up for the event. And you can also score a 10% discount code by using the code SIGNUP10. Once again, guys, the website is arabianwarriors.me, and the link to that is in the show notes below. And I'll see you on the race course. Next. Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform, check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds.
They continuously look for vulnerabilities in ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now guys, since you've taken care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now the global cryptocurrency market, guys, unfortunately has gone down, but the good news is, if you look at the volume of stable coins, it is definitely looking good. As a matter of fact, guys, the volume of stable coins has definitely increased since the last 24 hours. Now look guys, when the prices are going down, and if the volume of stable coins is increasing, this just means that a lot of people are converting a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and transferring it into stable coins, isn't it? So look, I've always said this, guys, so far stable coins is concerned, they are turning out to be a safe haven against the volatility of the prices of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? Really interesting to see the role of stable coins in the current scenario. Now what I'll do is, guys, I'll definitely go ahead and run through the volume of stable coins. But before that, guys, let's take a deep dive into the global cryptocurrency snapshot. Now the global cryptocurrency market, guys, is at $2.34 trillion, and since the last 24 hours, unfortunately, is down by 0.68%, and there is only one reason why that thing has happened, isn't it? And that is mostly to do with the open interest on Bitcoin, and I'll go ahead and discuss on which exchanges this open interest do actually exist, and I'm pretty much sure, guys, over the next coming days, there will be a lot of volatility, and this is triggered because of the outcome of the US elections as well, isn't it? So definitely critical stuff in my opinion. Now so far as the total cryptocurrency market volume is concerned, guys, it is at $92.45 billion, and since the last 24 hours, it is actually up by 81.92%. Now look guys, these volumes are great only because the volume of stable coins is increased, isn't it? Let's say, guys, if the prices of Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency market is going down, but if the volume of stable coins is down, then these numbers would be absolutely dreadful in my opinion. Now let's quickly run through the volume of decentralized finance, and to be honest, guys, for the second or third time in 2024, the volume has actually crossed the $5 billion mark, but to be honest, guys, the numbers are still disappointing, and as of today, DeFi is accounting for 5.47% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume, and so far as the total value locked is concerned, it is below the $90 billion mark. It is at $89.25 billion, and Lido is still dominating, guys, with $26.04 billion. Now one matrix, guys, which I'd really like to see have improved, that is to do with decentralized exchange dominance, because the volume of stable coins is pumped up, isn't it? Unfortunately, guys, since the last 24 hours, looks like a lot of centralized exchange has been used in order to go ahead and buy a lot of stable coins, and looks like a lot of people are converting a lot of the cryptocurrencies onto stable coins on a centralized exchange as opposed to decentralized exchange, because the percentage of decentralized exchange dominance, guys, is only at 22.47%. Now it could have been possible that the volume of stable coins could have been higher, and the decentralized exchange dominance could have been around the 40% mark, and that would be a great matrix, guys, because that would actually mean a lot of people are actually using decentralized exchanges. Unfortunately, guys, looks like the world is not ready for decentralized exchange, isn't it? Now regarding decentralized exchange, guys, probably for the second time ever, Radium has been consistently at number 1 so far as the 24-hour volume is concerned. And today, once again, it is at $1.33 billion. Uniswap, guys, is at number 2nd. Its volume is definitely over the $1 billion mark. It is at $1.21 billion. Now look, guys, in the episode that I released yesterday, I talked about Radium working only on Solana blockchain, isn't it? So since the last 48 hours, guys, looks like a lot of activity is actually taking place in Radium, isn't it? And I probably need to go ahead and do more research on this. Now so far as the number 3rd, so far as the 24-hour volume is concerned, it is PancakeSwap, and its volume is $726.73 million. Orca, guys, is at number 4th. Its volume is $511.97 million. Aerodrome is at number 5th. Its volume is $413.46 million. Now if you look at the volume of stable coins, guys, it is at $84.35 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it is definitely pumped up, isn't it? And as of today, guys, stablecoins is accounting for 91.23% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. Now look, guys, despite the volume of stablecoins being pumping up, in comparison to, let's say, 21 or 2022, this number should have been around the $100 to $120 billion range. And yesterday, guys, I talked about how the volume of stablecoins has actually gone down from roughly $3 trillion to around the $1.4 trillion mark in October, isn't it? So it's going to be really interesting to see how the narrative regarding stablecoins continues towards the last quarter of this year. Now Tether USDT guys is still leading the pack, and its volume is $71.91 billion. Circle USDC is at number 2nd. Its 24-hour volume is $7.17 billion. And FDUSD guys is at number 3rd. Its volume is $4.85 billion. Now let's quickly run to the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now Bitcoin's market cap guys has gone down, and right now it is at $1.33 trillion. Ethereum guys yesterday I believe was around the $325 billion range, isn't it? But looks like it is down to $322 billion. Now so far as the 24-hour trading volume is concerned guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $40.22 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is almost half of that of Bitcoin. It is at $19.82 billion. Now the dominance of Bitcoin guys is about the 50% mark. It is at 57.16%, and because of open interest guys, I wouldn't be surprised over the next coming days, probably the next coming weeks, and with US elections coming up, with a lot of institutional investors on board, I wouldn't be surprised if the dominance does actually cross a 58% mark, to be honest. Now so far the dominance of Ethereum is concerned, it is at 14.09%. Now in today's episode guys, I want to run through the market share of NFT marketplaces, so I'm just looking at the percentage guys, and I want to go ahead and find out which marketplace is being used so far as NFT trading is concerned. And it is no surprise guys that Blur is number 1, and it accounts for 42.30%. OpenSea guys is at number 2nd, and it accounts for 23.46%. And roughly around 2 weeks ago guys, the United Securities and Exchange Commission, they did issue a Wells notice to the CEO of OpenSea, along with 2 artists, isn't it? And I'm pretty much sure guys, we will be finding out that the SEC has filed charges against them as well. So let's see guys how the drama unfolds. And I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that in the Crypto and Coffee 88 podcast. Now the third one guys is Blur Aggregator, and it accounts for 21.94%. CryptoPunks is at number 4th, and it accounts for 7.81%. And the number 5th guys is X2Y2, and it accounts for 2.31%. Now to be honest guys, I was really expecting Rarible to be at number 4th or 5th. So let me know guys if you're someone who still uses Rarible. And if you're someone who uses X2Y2, let me know what is the user experience in that, because I have definitely not used X2Y2 yet. But if you do have any feedback regarding them, mention them in the comments below. Now guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. Now the prices of Bitcoin guys has gone down, and currently it is at $67,641. And since the last 24 hours it is down by 1.47%, but since the last 7 days it is up by 2.41%. Ethereum guys has gone down as well, and since the last 24 hours it is down by 1.26%, and currently it is at $2,671. But since the last 7 days guys, Ethereum is up by 1.78%. Binance BNB Coin is well below the $600 mark, it is at $597. And since the last 24 hours it is down by 0.26%, and since the last 7 days it is up by 1.42%. Now look guys, regarding Bitcoin I have 2 important news to cover. The first one is regarding Bitcoin open interest, and the second one is regarding Bitcoin mining hash rate. Now regarding Bitcoin open interest guys, it has exceeded $40 billion for the very first time, and this is because of a lot of institutional investors getting into the game, isn't it? And the Chicago Mercantile Exchange is leading with 30.7% of this open interest, and this is followed by Binance at 20.4%, and then by Bybit at 15%. Now look guys, so far as open interest is concerned, it could actually trigger sharp price movements and liquidations, leading to sell-off in spots market. And a notable example guys was actually experienced in August of this year, when the price of Bitcoin did actually drop by 20%. And look guys, with US elections coming up, I'm definitely expecting a lot of volatility. Now regarding Bitcoin open interest exceeding $40 billion guys, I do want to go ahead and touch base on several potential implications, not just for the price of Bitcoin, but for the broader cryptocurrency market as well. And regarding increased volatility guys, generally speaking, higher open interest rate typically indicates more leverage position in the market, and this guys could actually lead to increased volatility, as sharp price movements may trigger liquidations, and this will have a cascading effect in the market, isn't it? And regarding market sentiment and speculation, I very strongly feel what happens is a significant rise in open interest often reflects heightened speculation among traders, and if market participants are overly bullish or bearish, it could actually lead to abrupt price swings, as sentiments rapidly shift in response to market developments. So look, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is probably every hour for the next coming days, try to look at the market sentiment. And right now, guys, via coin market cap, the fear and greed index is neutral and the number associated is 57. Now yesterday, guys, fear and greed index was still 60. Now look, guys, it is extremely possible by the time you're listening to the episode, the prices would have either gone up or gone down. And this is the crazy world of cryptocurrency, isn't it? Now regarding the open interest, guys, let me go ahead and touch base on potential for liquidation. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, high open interest rates can actually lead to flush out during sharp price movements, and if Bitcoin experiences a sudden drop or spike, it could actually trigger mass liquidation of long or short position, thereby exacerbating price movements and increasing market instability. And this did actually take place in August as well, isn't it? Now so far as the impact on spot prices is concerned, liquidation events can lead to forced selling in spot markets, thereby impacting the Bitcoin price, and such dynamics can create downward pressure on prices, especially if the selling volume is substantial, isn't it? Now so far as market structure changes is concerned, the dominance of platforms like CME, that is Chicago Mercantile Exchange, as well as Binance, which is a leading cryptocurrency exchange, and also Bybit in terms of open interest, definitely indicates where institutional and retail traders are more active, and changes in market structure, such as shift in dominance among exchanges or derivative platforms, could actually influence future trading behavior and liquidity. Now regarding regulatory attention, guys, it's needless to say that the rising open interest might actually draw increased scrutiny from regulators, especially concerning market manipulation, leverage and risk management, and this could lead to potential regulatory changes or cause for greater oversight in the derivatives market. Now regarding long-term trends, guys, I very strongly feel a sustained increase in open interest could actually indicate a growing acceptance and integration of Bitcoin into traditional financial systems, and as more institutional investors participate in the derivatives market, this might actually reflect a strong shift towards Bitcoin being used as a more stable asset class. And finally, guys, regarding investment strategy, because the open interest rate is so high, traders may need to adjust their strategies in light of increased volatility and potential liquidation risk as well, and this could actually lead to more conservative trading practices or increased use of risk management tools. So look, guys, overall, while the increase in Bitcoin open interest signals growing interest and engagement in the market, it also highlights the potential for significant price fluctuations and market disruptions. And is that the reason why, guys, a lot of them have actually parked a lot of the Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies onto stable coins? That is exactly what the number states, isn't it? Now look, investors and traders should be aware of these dynamics when participating in the market. Now look, guys, we are just few days away from US elections, isn't it? And I very strongly feel any positive or negative news can directly and indirectly impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And as we know, guys, President Donald Trump is definitely a fan of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. The left-leaning administration by Kamala Harris, they're definitely not fans of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I very strongly feel the US elections could have severe implications for Bitcoin and the broader cryptocurrency market. And this is influenced by factors such as regulatory policies, economic conditions, and investor sentiment. So what I want to do is, guys, I want to go ahead and discuss what role can elections have on the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now look, guys, depending on the outcome of the election, the composition of Congress and the presidency could actually lead to changes in cryptocurrency regulations, and if President Donald Trump is re-elected, he will definitely promote a more favorable regulatory environment, and that would encourage institutional investments as well as innovation in the sector, not just in the United States of America, but probably in the entire world, isn't it? Conversely, guys, let's say if the extreme left-leaning lunatic gets elected, she could result in tighter regulations, potentially stifling growth and uncertainty among investors, not just in US, guys, but in other regions as well. Now look, guys, this might be the very first time that election is creating uncertainty in the cryptocurrency market, isn't it? And this volatility may increase as traders react to election results and potential policy changes. Now on poly market, guys, President Donald Trump is definitely leading by a really long margin, and depending on the perceived impact of US election outcomes, Bitcoin prices could experience significant fluctuations driven by speculations and fear. And roughly around 3 months ago, guys, I did actually interview the CEO of Triton Liquid Fund. Now he's from New York, and he did actually state if President Donald Trump is elected, things will definitely look good for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And what was interesting, he said, guys, let's say even if he does not do anything, the fact that President Donald Trump is elected, the impression of that will be positive for the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. Now look, as if Kamala Harris gets elected, I really am not sure what the impact will be, not just for cryptocurrencies, but for the geopolitical chaos as well as the financial market, isn't it? And look, guys, regarding economic policies, the elected officials' economic policies, including fiscal stimulus measures, interest rates, and monetary policies, could strongly influence investor sentiment towards Bitcoin. For example, guys, if inflation concerns persist and if the government continues to print money, Bitcoin may be viewed more favorably as a hedge against inflation, isn't it? Conversely, guys, a focus on tightening monetary policy could actually lead to reduced liquidity in the market, impacting asset prices. So look, guys, I do feel no matter who gets elected, it is directly and indirectly going to impact the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, if President Donald Trump gets elected, it could lead to increased institutional interest in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Even his son, guys, that is Eric Trump, he's working on a crypto project that is World Liberty Finance Token, isn't it? So President Trump getting elected will definitely have a lot of institutional investors on board, because institutional investors, guys, they often seek clarity and stability in regulations before committing any capital. So, favorable election outcome for Republicans could actually spur further investment in the cryptocurrency space. Now, US elections, guys, often bring issues to the forefront of public disclosure. Now, President Donald Trump has often talked about blockchain technology and cryptocurrency. He was the main speaker at the Bitcoin Nashville event as well, isn't it? And I very strongly feel, guys, him getting re-elected because of the US elections, a lot of people are actually aware of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. And in the swing states, guys, there is rising interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? In A16Z, guys, they did actually publish a report called as the State of Crypto, where they actually discussed 5 of the swing states. They've definitely seen a sharp increase so far as Google search is concerned regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrencies. Now look, guys, the political landscape can influence funding and support for blockchain initiatives and technological projects, and a government that embraces blockchain innovation may promote growth in the sector, benefiting various cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And depending on the election outcome, guys, I'm pretty much sure US foreign policies may shift as well, potentially affecting international relations and trade. And right now there's so much of geopolitical chaos going on in the Middle East, isn't it? And this, guys, is only because of the left-leaning administration. Now, ever since Biden and Kamala took office, guys, Taliban took over Afghanistan, Russia invaded Ukraine, Israel has launched a war with Palestine, as well as Lebanon, Iran, and other few countries. And not to mention, guys, under the left-leaning regime, the inflation did actually reach at its all-time high. In 2022, guys, inflation in US did actually reach the highest in 40 years. And regarding COVID-19 deaths, guys, I hate saying this, there were more deaths under the Biden administration. So keeping all this thing in mind, guys, and aiming for world peace, it is so critical that President Donald Trump gets re-elected, isn't it? Now, regarding social media and misinformation, guys, which is mostly portrayed by left-leaning administration as well as mainstream media, I very strongly feel the spread of fake news and misinformation by the left-leaning media can shape public perception of cryptocurrencies. And Kamala Harris, guys, she did actually put out a crypto policy, and there were just 2 statements regarding the crypto policy, and it did not actually state what is it that she's actually doing for the cryptocurrency world. Absolutely crazy crypto policy in my opinion. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, go to YouTube and listen to President Donald Trump's speech at the Bitcoin Nashville event. It is roughly around 30 to 40 minutes long, and he clearly explained what his policies are. Now regarding Kamala Harris, guys, there were literally 2 statements, and on the 17th of this month, me and a good friend of mine, that is Marcus Shantita, we actually broke down what the crypto policies are. We literally had to go and talk about 2 sentences regarding that, nothing more beyond that. So look, guys, essentially what I'm trying to say is, with the US elections coming up, the upcoming US elections could have complex and multifaceted impact on the cryptocurrency market, particularly Bitcoin, and investors and average people like you and me should stay informed about the political landscape and be prepared for potential volatility and regulatory changes that could arise from the election outcome. And this is one of the reasons why the open interest has gone high on these exchanges as well as in it. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what happens over the next coming days and weeks. Now, guys, let's go and discuss some news regarding Bitcoin mining hash rate. Now, at this point of time, guys, you know that every 2016 block, the Bitcoin mining difficulty gets automatically adjusted, isn't it? And this is one of the genius moves by Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, what happened, guys, on the 21st? The Bitcoin mining hash rate did actually reach to a new all-time high, and on the 21st of October, guys, it reached 769.8 hash per second, showing an increased network activity. Now this growth, guys, is driven by advancement in Bitcoin mining hardware and has been steady since 2021. Now look, guys, it's really important to note, as mining cost rises, smaller firms may actually struggle to remain profitable. And since the last 6 months, guys, I've discussed so many smaller firms. They were acquired by major firms, and unfortunately, guys, this could potentially lead to centralization of mining, isn't it? Now look, energy efficient rigs are extremely crucial post the fourth Bitcoin halving for profitability. And regarding TeraWulf, they are currently valued at $670 million, and they are right now the 6th largest Bitcoin miner. And the news is that they plan to expand its operation despite reduced block rewards. Now what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below there are some interesting data by Cointelegraph, and there's also an interesting data that is put out by CryptoQuant, so please feel free to go and check it out, because the data by CryptoQuant states that Bitcoin mining firms have only sent a cumulative of 2,916 Bitcoin to centralized exchanges, marking the lowest fourth day of selling in 30 days. This, to be honest, guys, can be taken in a positive way, isn't it? This just means that a lot of the miners are not selling the Bitcoin, rather they are just hodling it. Now look, guys, with US elections coming up, if President Donald Trump gets elected, I'm pretty much sure the prices will cross $100,000 mark, isn't it? And in my Cryptid Coffee Date podcast, guys, I did actually go and discuss how much does it actually go and cost to go and mine one Bitcoin. Iran, guys, surprisingly is the cheapest, but with geopolitical chaos right now, it does become extremely expensive to go and mine these Bitcoins, isn't it? And so far as Ireland is concerned, it is probably the most expensive place to go and mine one Bitcoin. Now, President Donald Trump definitely wants a lot of Bitcoin mining to actually take place in the United States of America, but in comparison to, let's say, mining in China, the cost is more than double. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of policies does he have regarding Bitcoin mining facilities in America. And that's one of the reasons, guys, I would really recommend you guys to go ahead and listen to President Donald Trump's speech at the Bitcoin Nashville event, and he did make very specific points. Oh guys, you can also go ahead and listen to my episode. I definitely went ahead and gave in-depth information regarding this. Now guys, let's go and discuss some drama in the world of Monero. And Japanese police, guys, they arrested Yuto Kobayashi, suspected of leading a group involved in credit card fraud and laundering over 100 million yen. And unfortunately, guys, this was done using Monero. Now the group, guys, has conducted around 900 fraudulent transactions, and they did that using stolen credit card details obtained via phishing between June 2021 and January of 2022. And Kobayashi's group has also defrauded the market side, that is Macari. Now this is the first time, guys, that Monero transactions have been analyzed to identify a suspect in Japan, and the Japanese authorities have arrested 18 people so far. Now look, guys, regarding Monero, it is kind of like the king of privacy, isn't it? But what I really recommend you to do is, guys, on YouTube type in Breaking Monero, and there are two guys who go ahead and explain how you can still go ahead and track Monero transactions. And I'm pretty much sure, guys, Japanese authorities might have used sophisticated tools as well, isn't it? Definitely unfortunate news that the privacy coin has been used for that. Now guys, let's go ahead and discuss some unfortunate news from South Africa. And Capitec Bank, they have blocked EFT and immediate payments to cryptocurrency exchanges, and they did that via the app and business web interface, and they are citing anti-fraud measures. Now customers of Capitec Bank are encouraged to use Capitec Pay with plans to integrate it with more exchanges. Now the bank's app also communicates with fraud centers in real time to go ahead and block payments flagged for fraud. Now this move, guys, in South Africa aligns with earlier measures preventing South Africans from buying crypto on international platforms. This is definitely unfortunate news, isn't it? And the FSC in South Africa has awarded 138 crypto asset service provider licenses, and they continue to monitor compliance. Now look, so far as Dubai is concerned, a lot of the banks, they are trying to be more proactive in acceptance towards Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, isn't it? So look, guys, the banks in UAE is definitely taking a completely positive approach regarding this. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, over the long term, if it is a good move or bad move by the banks in South Africa. Definitely negative news, isn't it? And looks like they're clear detractors of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So these were the news, guys, from the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news, guys, is regarding Dubai police, and they have tapped a wire for a ZR-based virtual assistant. So let me go ahead and give out more information regarding this, because this partnership involves the development of Amna, which is an AI-powered virtual assistant. And Amna, guys, is designed to handle public inquiries for Dubai police, and the project is focused on integrating AI into Dubai police services. And Major General Khalid Nasir Al-Rizouki has emphasized the role of AI in enhancing customer services, and this partnership is part of Dubai police's strategy to work closely with the private sector on AI projects. And the goal, guys, is to provide top-notch services and enhance customer satisfaction. Now, why, as we know, guys, is a global leader in enterprise customer experience solutions, isn't it? And the new solutions offered by them will provide an improved AI-powered virtual assistant to Dubai Police app, and customer journeys, guys, will be mapped and orchestrated across various channels to ensure seamless experience. And Dubai Police, they definitely aim to replicate the AI assistant experience across multiple touchpoints, and the virtual assistant will enhance public's experience with government services. Now, this news, guys, was actually announced at GITEX event, which is the biggest electronic event in the entire world, and solutions like Now was actually showcased at the event, and Avaya's GITEX presence is in collaboration with Seshtec and Cognite. Now, regarding public interaction, guys, Amna will handle citizen inquiries, thereby simplifying interactions with Dubai Police, and this is our digital transformation, isn't it? And looks like the Dubai Police is taking an active role in digital transformation, isn't it? And the project is part of Dubai Police's broader digital transformation initiatives, and so far as AI is concerned, it is central to improving the quality of government services, and the virtual assistant, I very strongly feel, is a step towards more efficient, AI-driven public service delivery. So definitely positive news. Now, the second news, guys, that I'm going to be talking about is also positive news, and this is to do with DEWA, that is Dubai Electricity Water Authority, and InfraX, which is a subsidiary of Digital DEWA, as well as Aurum Equity Partners. They have signed a memorandum of understanding, and this memorandum of understanding, guys, was also signed at the GITEX event, and this partnership is centered around developing ESG-focused ATH computing software infrastructure, and the objective is to establish a sustainable, next-generation data centers for advanced AI and 5G applications, and they are focused on localized, high-performance AI-ready infrastructure for UAE and the MENA region. Now, regarding sustainability, guys, they have a very strong emphasis on environmental, social, and governance principles, and right now there's growing demand for AI, isn't it? And the rising demand for AI-enabled, 5G-ready data centers is driven by smart cities and connected cars, is one of the reasons why this partnership did actually take place, and the collaboration, guys, aligns with rapid 5G deployment across the MENA region, and they will support next-generation applications like connected cars, smart cities, and blockchain-based decentralized finance as well, and the focus is on developing both far-edge and near-edge data centers, and they want to prioritize end-to-end securities and energy efficiency in design and deployment. Now, regarding InfraX, guys, they bring expertise in IoT and smart city solutions. Now, regarding Aurum, guys, Aurum specializes in ESG-driven digital infrastructure, and this partnership between InfraX and Aurum Equity Partners aims to contribute to sustainable urban digital transformation, and the infrastructure will serve various sectors, enhancing speed, security, and intelligence services, and they want to ensure environmental responsibility while at the same time enhancing service reliability as well. Now, look, so far as UAE is concerned, this news is definitely aligning with UAE's vision of being a global leader, not just in the digital innovation space, but also in the sustainability space, isn't it? And I do feel, guys, that news suggests this is definitely expected to set new standards for ESG-centric, AI-edge computing infrastructure. Definitely positive news. So these were the news, guys, on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence world from Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now, for the next few minutes, is going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kick start with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where your listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Jen who asks, should banks like Capitec in South Africa block payments to prevent fraud, or does this limit financial freedom? This, to be honest, Jen, is such a brilliant question. Now, I very strongly feel that there is a fine balance between preventing fraud and maintaining financial freedom. Now look, on one hand, banks like Capitec, they do have a responsibility to protect customers, isn't it? Especially with growing risk in the cryptocurrency space. And earlier today, I talked about Monero, where a lot of transactions were actually taking place using fraudulent debit cards and credit cards. So keeping that thing in mind, I kind of agree to what Capitec is doing. And speaking from their point of view, I do feel that integrating real-time fraud detection is a proactive step to ensure customer safety, and it does show commitment to preventing financial losses, isn't it? But on the flip side, Jen, blocking crypto payments can definitely limit financial freedom, especially for those who view cryptocurrency as a legitimate and innovative means of investment or transactions, and this, I very strongly feel, could hinder progress in the digital economy, where cryptocurrencies are becoming more mainstream. Now, what I feel a better approach, Jen, might be for banks to implement stronger risk-based controls rather than an outright blanket ban, and this could involve flagging suspicious transactions for review, while at the same time allowing genuine crypto users the freedom to transact, and this could ensure both security and personal financial freedom are respected, isn't it? And that's one of the reasons why I very strongly feel, so far as the banks in the Middle East is concerned, they're definitely taking leaps and bounds ahead in comparison to other countries. And if I'm not mistaken, Standard Chartered, they have a partnership with Crypto.com where they want to go ahead and facilitate crypto transactions using banking facility. So keeping all this thing in mind, I very strongly feel that the banking industry in the Middle East is definitely a few steps ahead in compared to the other countries. Now I'm really curious to check if the banking industry do actually merges with, let's say, a decentralized exchange, be it, let's say, Radium or Uniswap. That would be an absolutely game changer, and I wouldn't be surprised, knowing the innovation in the space and the strong support from the UAE government, one of the banks will actually do that, and that, to be honest, will definitely be a game changer, Jen. So definitely a great question. And that's about all, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto with Coffee podcast, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE and the Middle East, from the cryptocurrency, blockchain and now artificial intelligence world as well. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.